Welcome in, one and all. How you going? My name's Regan, aka Pink Demon, and I hope you've had a good week, because I've had a great one. I went up to Adelaide for AvCon, Adelaide's anime and gaming convention, and if you can't tell by the fact that I used to Twitch stream and, I like anime and gaming. So it's been a really good weekend. Went up there with a bunch of friends, and I had an absolute blast. And I do not say that without reason, because there's a little bit of a through line through to today's review. After Animega, which is Melbourne's anime convention, I want to say last year, maybe the year before, there was a beginner idol contest, and one of the ladies that went up to be a beginner idol performed a song called Kawaii Cute Gomen, if I'm pronouncing that wrong. No, I think I got that right. Look at me. But they used a cover version with English lyrics, and I was trying to find that version when I came across a metal cover by a band called Mellows. And it wasn't what I was looking for, but I really dug the sound, and I dropped them a follow, and here they are, now dropping their second album. Also, as a quick aside, if you do like idol culture, and you are into metal, and you are in Australia, highly recommend checking out Christy, Melbourne's metal idol. Got this shirt, I believe it's a sample, and they've just gone up for pre-orders for the actual shirts. Picked this up on the weekend up in Adelaide, traveling interstate to buy Melbourne artist merchandise. Don't worry about it. But yes, we have cool metal idol stuff at home in our backyard, because Melbourne's got everything, baby. Anything you could ever need. Throw that on the screen. Go drop Christy a follow. Had a quick chat to her at the con. She seems lovely. Anyway, into Mellows, their second album, Fragment. Had to do a bit of research into Mellows because they're adjacent to that J-pop / idol scene. Very foreign to me. Don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But they brand themselves as Cute Metal, and they're a two-piece from Tokyo. Came together in 2023, and this is their second album already, so they have been busy. Now, I'm sure with everything I've said so far, there's been a name that's come into your mind, and we're going to have to talk about it, because you can't really talk about a clash of metal and idol culture without mentioning baby metal. And the high-level notes for anyone who came here who's a baby metal fan is this is refreshingly authentic, like the original baby metal material was when they first started. I feel like all their later releases have been more geared to a global audience with a ton of feature artists, and they're drifting away from their idol roots. And while they're doing that, other big, metal-sounding exports coming out of Japan, like Hanabi, don't really lean into that idol culture as much. So it's definitely left a gap in the market that is being really well filled for me by Mellows. And now, if you come to me as your arbiter of all things metal, firstly, thank you. Secondly, idol nature aside, there are still plenty of riffs in this album. Don't you worry about that. And they are fresh riffs at that. Across the 11 songs, I was really blown away by just the amount of variety in there. That they're being really creative with their songwriting, and I think it speaks to a wide set of influences, and just a set of influences that I'm not getting in the other metal that I'm listening to. For the most part, definitely the first half of the album, it doesn't have that typical Japanese feel where everything's kind of like J-rock but with power metal chords and riffs put through it, which isn't a bad sound, but I feel it's become a bit of an archetype for Japanese metal bands, very much a national identity across the board, which, hey, that happens. I mean, Australia's just a bunch of Parkway Drive rip-offs if you take a very high-level skim of our metal scene. Behind the riff, too, there is some super funky bass guitar at the same time, and I'm so glad that they've done that justice in the mix and even give it some time to shine in the spotlight. It was kind of that first listen was just through the earbuds in the office, and I was really enjoying it, but when I got home and I put on the actual headphones and I could hear all the bass in the mix, I started picking up on it. I'm like, wow, this is really good and really not traditionally metal. And for that, I loved it, because traditionally metal bass is kind of boring. All those jokes about them just using two strings and, being the least talented member of the band, those jokes have their roots. So, again, to hear something fresh, to hear something with influences that are coming outside the sphere and even outside the Western music sphere, really cool. Really love to hear that. I am at the point of having been in the metal scene for over half my life in one way or another. Sadly, the result of that is it's rare to hear something fresh and new. So anytime it comes up like this, I'm chuffed. I'm absolutely chuffed. Speaking on influences from all over the world, there is some traditional Japanese elements through the album, but they've been very restrained on it, very responsibly restrained, I think. It doesn't become a gimmick of the album, it's just peppered in there enough to be flavor. I think there's only really one track, Sagaribana, where you could say that it flows throughout the entire song. And even then, because they've just done that on one song only, it feels special. It's a spectacle. It's not a gimmick, it's a spectacle. And this will be the last time I compare them, but it's stuff that Baby Metal used to do in their early days that they really don't touch on much anymore. So it's really refreshing to hear that coming through again. And then further to what I said before, like the bass lines, they've been restrained about it. They've not written really cool bass lines and put them at the forefront. There's so much control throughout the entire album. Everything's thought out and in a place it needs to be. It just makes everything feel expertly crafted. It's like going to a restaurant and, getting really nice plating. Doesn't change the taste of the food, but it certainly makes the whole experience just more complete. And speaking of showing restraint, I did appreciate that there weren't any of those like big metalcore, deathcore, gent adjacent, breakdown sections that are his lazy songwriting, in my opinion. They've done it in the past with songs like Candy Making. I'm fine without it. I don't really need it. I think it's more interesting to write without that type of stuff. But then on the other hand, they're not without their big heavy moments, as really bass heavy percussion in songs like TV Paranoia, which then is contrasted well against some really beautiful melodic parts in that song, showing a good range. The only thing I really didn't like about that song was the guitar solo. I thought it could be a lot better. Kind of at the end of it, I'm like, oh, was that the best take you got of the guitar solo? Okay. Thankfully, though, that wasn't a pervasive issue. Just 2 songs later on Ribbon's Memory, they bring it back with a absolutely ripper guitar solo, and there's other ones throughout there as well, so I can't heap praise on the album. I have to call out something, so if I have to call out something, it's going to be the TV Paranoia guitar solo. As I said earlier, the first half of the album, a lot of that variety through there. The talent is on display the entire album, but I feel like the variety of it is really front loaded, and the back end kind of falls back on more traditional Japanese metal sounds. And I've tried up to now to curtail my inner Westerner, but if I could get a bit ignorant for a second, then last 3 songs they all sound like anime songs. They do. And I'm kind of taking the piss, but I'm also not. The last 3 songs in particular do fall back on that more traditional Japanese metal song structure that makes them sound like they could be really good anime themes. I get really into them. It would hype me up for a show, that's for sure. But it's just got all the hallmarks. It's not a criticism, it's just more of a comment on the song structures and the styles, a lot of the soaring vocals, a lot of the pacing. Oh, and on pacing, one thing I have commented on many albums is the need to have a drive, a direction, a purpose. The song needs to be going somewhere. It needs to have urgency. It can't just meander around. A meandering song is a bad song. And I really like that throughout the entire album, there is that urgency. Each song feels like it's trying to get somewhere. And for the most part, trying to get there fast, which just pumps you up, gets your blood pumping, which God, metal should. They just put that on the pile of things they do well throughout the entire album. It's hard to touch on everything. There's so many little surprises throughout this album. Like I said, it's so varied. I haven't even touched on there's rap sections and songs like Bad Player and El Protocol. It's just such a varied album that even the safe songs at the end are just part of the variety. Sure, I guess they're more typical of what you might expect a J-pop metal band to be doing, but I wouldn't call them the baseline or anything like that. It's just another part of this big, flavorful mix. And I guess in that, I'm going to put my last criticism of, when you've got such a big, flavorful mix, it does feel a little bit incoherent as a full album. Doesn't feel like it flows from start to finish. Does have that kind of collection of singles feel. But then, being in Japanese, there might be narrative thread that ties everything together that I'm not picking up on, so I can't comment on that. Also, I've commented heaps on that they're a Japanese band. Yes, all the lyrics are in Japanese pretty much, so don't expect lyrics to be your biggest draw if you can't speak Japanese. Which is weird because for me, lyrics are a huge draw to an album, but I can't understand this. I don't speak Japanese, and scotchy. And I'm still really invested in this album, so that's me saying that this is a good album, regardless of not being able to understand a single word in it. I will say though, despite not being able to understand anything, the articulation of the vocals is really good. If I wanted to Google any lyric, I would be easily able to pick it up off the song and just punch it into the keyboard. It is delivered with a real crisp clarity that just makes listening to it, even though I can't understand it, very good. And I think there is something to be said there about the delivery of lyrics, even if you can't understand them, that it's not something you can phone in. You can tell when it's good even when you can't understand it. And there's even been weird tests on that you can look up where, like, they've gotten people who don't speak a word of another language to listen to a gibberish sentence and a real sentence in another language, and overwhelmingly they can pick the real sentence. There is a way we deliver and communicate in language that has a almost subconscious patterning and recognition to it that your brain will pick up on even if you don't understand it. And I think that's why it's really important to, deliver your lyrics clearly always, because here I am not understanding it, but being able to pick up that it's articulated well just through experiencing it. So all in all, Mellows, sick band, Fragment, sick album, highly recommend checking it out. I'm going to be sending it to a bunch of people who I know appreciate Japanese metal and being like, hey, have you seen this? And then maybe, if I can get enough fan base drummed up in Melbourne, Christy can bring them out for a show. That would be pretty sick. But until that future eventuates, I've been Regan, you've been amazing. Keep well, listen to good music. I've got some awesome stuff in the pipeline. 3 bands that I like have reached out to me asking if I want to review them, which just makes me feel so blessed and that I'm not wasting my time doing this. So I got some really awesome stuff in the pipeline that I'm excited about. Stick around, chuck a like. What are we on? YouTube. Subscribe. Chuck a subscribe. Like the video. Share it with someone as well. All that helps me. And I hope that my opinions help you find good music. Yeah. Peace out.